Hello, my name is Chris, and this is a D&D recap series, but it's also kind of an advertisement. It's an advertisement for an ongoing campaign that I am running called Heroes of Calenoth on RPGclub.net, where I am a pro GM. So, if you'd like to check it out, there's a link down below inside the description. You can click that and learn more if you consider, this might be fun to join. It is a 2024 focused campaign. We're just using the player's handbook at this point, and we will be adding the Dungeon Master Guide and the Monster Manual as soon as those are available, but really exploring what this new 2024 version has to offer and how it plays. We're learning together. We've got some newer players, we've got some experienced players that know other editions pretty well. All in all, this is a friendly, new player welcoming group that has a real character focused and kind of character driven story idea. This is not a pre-built campaign. The ifs and whats are all dependent and built based upon your input as a character. So again, if that sounds like fun to you, check out the link below. Consider joining us. If seats are full, don't worry. I will add new games as soon as my current games are at capacity. All right. On to the recap. Let's talk about what happened in Session 1 of Heroes of Calenoth. In our very first session, the group met in Port Artemia. This is the easternmost city on the edge of the Kingdom of Calenoth. And there, each player was narrated in. We have Zoltan, the Goliath fighter. We have Ronan, the Tiefling Druid, and we have Beaumont, the Halfling Paladin. Now, each of them have their own reasons to be in Port Artemia, but all of them are drawn to the most recent event. The town crier is basically saying that the mayor is offering a handsome amount of money to anyone that could help bring back a forgotten relic or an artifact that was lost in the kingdom during the time of Tears to help face or fight the demon army, this incursion from a thing called the Night Door that is encroaching upon the kingdom from the southwest. Now, lots of treasure hunters have showed up, adventurer types, all of them finding guides or seeking rumors from people that say they know about a thing. But the group, they've paired up with a dwarven guide named Nara Stonefoot. Nara seems to know that the Giantkin, the Goliaths that meet in a moot village high up in the Blue Mountains to the north, they once possessed an artifact that helped them fight against the demons during the time of Tears, something bestowed upon them as a gift from a dragon that was slain by the demons. She doesn't know what the thing is. She doesn't know exactly where it's at, but surely, with the help of a Goliath like Zoltan and with the rest of the group, she could convince them that, they should give up this thing, right? Well, her motives, they've yet to truly been discovered, but she says she wants to give this thing that they find back to her father, who is in charge of the artificers in the dwarven city of Cal Alun, on the western edge of the Blue Mountain Range. So, the group comes to an accord. They decide to investigate the city a little bit for one last evening before departing in the next morning, and they discover that things may not be all hunky-dory inside Port Artemia. There is a foreign fleet of traders called the Black Tide, run by the Admiral Rin Blacktide, a human man, an unscrupulous, charismatic man that seems to have the ear of the government officials, including the mayor and harbor master. Beau was the first to notice at the bar that he seems to have some sort of a spy network whispering into his ears, gathering secrets as the treasure hunters head off into the hills and forests, seeking whatever relics they may bring back to sell to the mayor. As the group left the Leaky Hall Tavern and headed into town to look for a place to stay, they saw Rin, Mr. Blacktide, inside the harbor master's office. And they snuck up to the window and heard a part of his plan. He intends to take whatever relics are brought back and not use them for good to protect the peoples of this country. He has different plans for these things. He intends to sell them overseas. He's going to pack up any relic that is brought back after it's been sold to the mayor and sell it for triple or even more what it might be worth in the far countries across the ocean. After the group's spying on the harbor master ended, they decided to head up onto one of the larger hills that overlooks the city, where they nestled down in a nice woodland grove on this pleasant evening and slept. After waking up to the sunshine of the early morning and the first bells of the town tolling, the group went to the top of the cliffs where they had smelled some sort of strange herbs being burned. There at the herbalist shop that overlooks the village from high upon one of the cliff faces, they did find the strange Aarakocra woman that sells and grows these mystical herbs here inside the village. The Aarakocra woman invited them in for breakfast and fed them a meal. The group wanted to buy some healing potions from her, but only had enough to purchase one. She offered an additional 2 if only they would run an errand. They needed to take a parcel of these herbs to Morhul, a place that serendipitously they were already heading, in order to deliver it to the Giantkin before the next full moon when they intend to have their moot. It is part of one of the rituals to keep the peace as the various giant kinds discuss politics. They gladly accepted the parcel and the additional potions, and she entrusted them to keep their word and deliver it to the village they were already heading. As the group then heard the third bell toll, they knew that they had to meet Nara down near the northern gates of the village, and they did so, departing into the wilderness of Calenoth. And that's where the fun began, with a series of exploration dice rolls, and the group covered quite a many miles. There was a battle against corrupted wolves that crept out of the forest, the demonic energy suffused into their very being, making their bites toxic and necrotic. Later on, the group discovered a tree village where sleeping elves engaged and bonded in the Green Dream, a religion of interconnected, unconscious slumber that the elves embark with in this ancient magical forest. They also discovered a moonstone half buried somewhere in the woods, allowing them to connect with one of the Eldar, the elven spiritual goddesses and gods that still live in the memories of the collective unconscious of this forest. As the session began to come to a close, several more exploration rolls were made, and they made good time, but they began to run out of rations, it being nearly 7 days since they departed from Port Artemia. Still with few days left to go, they considered that they might need to slow down and go hunting or foraging in order to resupply themselves for whatever number of days might lie ahead. There they stumbled into an ancient Eldar grove, a sacred place inside the forest, and they accidentally offended the gods and the spirits that lingered there, cursing them for a day. They stumbled a little bit further into the evening, and then they were confronted by a group of 6 sellswords, hunters, bandits perhaps, trudging through the forest, these Artemians on their way back east. Are they friend or foe? We'll find out next session, and we'll see how the diplomacy goes between our group of adventurers and these strangers in this enchanted forest. That's it for session 1. That is just a very brief overcap. I know I left out a ton of fun and hilarious moments between the group, but if you'd like to get some insight into the game world or more, join us. Playing D&D 2024 in this homebrew campaign on rpgclub.net. I hope to see you there.